Hello everyone, it's me, Garrett, aka CoffeeStitcher, back for episode 8. 8's my lucky number. It's August 24th, and we have our Felt Kit Parade finale. So that's, I'm sure, exciting for the people who are not as interested in felt kits, but for those who are, this is the last of that you're gonna see. So if you do have ideas for other things you might like to see me do, please feel free to toss some ideas my way. I'm always open to suggestions. Truth be told, I was not sure how much of a video I was actually going to have this week. I discovered middle of last week that my insurance was not going to continue covering the ADHD medication I was on, which meant I had to scramble to get an appointment with the doctor to determine what the next step should be, as well as get myself off of the old medication, which basically started last Thursday, and I made the transition to the new one this previous Thursday, and it's going well, thankfully, knock on wood. But as a result, on a couple of nights this week, and amongst the fact that I had a very busy week, it was all I could do to keep my focus going during work. So by the time I was done with work, I couldn't stitch. I was just, my brain would not let me focus on it. So I really didn't think I was going to have a ton. But I actually do. So hey, look at that. Even though I basically lost 3 days roughly, I still managed to get a decent amount in, so hooray for me. I hope everyone is doing well. So this week we've got one finish. I know, right? Yeah, I tell you all of this. Like, I didn't think I was gonna be that productive, and then you're gonna see what I worked on and be blown away. So we've got a finish, we've got some whips, we've got some shout outs. I've got, I hate to say a call to action, but a request is what I will call it. We've got WIPGO plans because Jessie Marie did that one early. I do have a felt project update for you. So I think that kinda is gonna get us going good. So without further ado, we shall drop on in. We'll start out with my mentions because I feel like those are kind of the easy ones to discuss up front. Because I did work from home this last week, and because Flossy is very good to have on in the background while I'm working, I did pick up on a couple of people that I had not found before. So I watched The Stitching Grounds. They're new. It's a mom and daughter who are very hilarious together. The daughter has finished, minus the French knots, the Thomas Kincaid Little Mermaid, and holy cow, I don't think I've ever actually seen a finished version other than what's on the cover, which, as we all know, those covers are never great. It's amazing. So huge shout out to her for that one. It makes me really kind of getting a little more ready to bring mine back out and work on it some more again. I watched Faith X Stitch. She is an Italian stitcher who doesn't live in Italy, but she lives somewhere else in Europe, but she also does some really pretty work. I watched Thistle and Thread and her announcement of her season of the Witch Sal, which starts in September, where you're supposed to switch on something witchy, and I feel fairly confident that I can pull that one off. I counted Cross Stitch, who's also a new cross stitcher, or a new floss tuber, but she's got a whole lot of stuff that I also like. So if you like me, I think you would like her. The Story Stitcher, who also does very beautiful work, but just did a freebie design that's a Jane Austen like Quaker sampler, and it's fantastic. Like, you have to subscribe to her newsletter. I hit subscribe just as quickly as I could. And then Brigham House Stitcher was also new to me. So those are the people that I checked out that I really enjoyed. I'm not going to steal Pam, and I am blanking on what her channel name is. I think it's Diddy something. It's Pam. She's Scottish. I love her. She's amazing. I know her as Pam, but she has a whole section about who's razzled her berries, and I'm not going to steal her and go, well, these people razzled my berries, but they were people I enjoyed. Of course, I always enjoy Pam. Now, this is where I'm going to throw in that little request. In and amongst, of course, the FlossTube videos, because, of course, there are only, I need a little variety other than just FlossTube. So I've kind of fallen down like the creepypasta, true crime, YouTube stuff that I can throw in the background. So if anyone has any suggestions for true crime or creepypasta or spooky things and channels, if you'll let me know, I definitely would love to check them out. All for that. All right, let's move on. So the finishes were, it was just one finish, was Adventure Awaits, by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's the world map. So I finally finished on that one. So overall, real quick, I had 9 days that I stitched, and I did 2,346 stitches approximately. I say approximately because I'm not always sure I count correctly, but here we go. So I am very happy to see this one finished. It's on Mummy Wraps by Ship's Manor. This one was a long time coming, almost 5.5 years, but it is finished, and I will most likely do it as a canvas wrap for a finish to hang in the hallway. But it is done. All right. Now then, these are not going to be in any particular order other than whatever order I managed to stack them in. All right, so I worked on this year's Cloudsfactory Sal. It is Stitcher's Book Club. It is on an 18 count Ada. I don't know who the dyer is. It was in my stash. No clue. No clue who the dyer, no clue what the color is. So this one was was for the 600 stitches. And so so this frame, Jane Austen herself, and then the 2 picture frames in the background of this one picture. So I'm now into the 3rd cubby. So we'll get Jane finished up. It will depend, I think, on what the decision wheel gives me. If it gives me 800, then I think I will definitely finish out Jane the next time this one comes out. If it gives me less than 800, then I'm not so sure. I may not even have 750 left in it, but I'm going to be generous. I know it's definitely going to be more than another 500, probably more than 600, so that's okay, because if I do finish hers out, I can always start working on the frame for the next one fairly easily. So that is Stitcher's Book Club. All right. This was one of my WIPGO picks. It's Inspiration by Rosewood Manor. And it was 750 stitches. And so that put in, so here's where I am on it. So it's this little first line down there. That put in the bulk of that page. So definitely the next time this one comes out, it will be a finish in that regard. Or not a finish, but it'll be a page finish. This one's kind of oddly broken up. Without showing you the pattern, you can see here from the diagram, like 2, 3, like the outside 2 rows aren't as big, and the very bottom row isn't very big, but then the ones here in the middle are a lot bigger. So it's rather interesting in that regard. I am stitching this one on, I want to say it's Mellow by Picture This Plus. Willow by Picture This Plus, excuse me. And I am using the Anchor conversion. Because when I started this was back when you could get Anchor really easily in both Joann's and Michael's. And so I thought, well, this could be fun. Let me try Anchor for it. And I actually do like the Anchor. I don't really notice that much of a difference between stitching with it versus stitching with DMC. And I really don't notice that much of a color difference. But I mean, I haven't hated it. It's not like if I could, not one of those where if more Anchor were to fall in my lap, I wouldn't be angry at it. It's not like CXC where I would, sooner eat my own eyelids. I wouldn't actually eat my eyelids. That would be weird, but you know what I mean. Okay. I almost really don't even want to show y'all this one. This was sad. So when last we spoke, I was going to work on Universal Monsters Sal as part of the abandoned Sal for Kenny X Stitches. I put in a whopping 79 stitches, and this was before I had to start weaning myself off of my ADHD medication. So, I really don't even... This is sad, y'all. I don't even think you're gonna be able to tell that I did anything. So I realized where I had started putting Igor. Frankenstein. I was putting him in the wrong spot, and so I had to move him. So I had to frog his legs. And then I did a little bit more of that little barrier over there. Now, to be fair to myself, some of it was, I still don't know what my blues are that I picked here. I think I've got it close. I think I've got it right, but then I realized what I think may have been throwing me off was the fact that because I started trying to stitch that, because I thought, well, let me fill in some of the blue. But I think because it's not surrounded by black, and the other colors, like, they're seeming off to me because they're not fully stitched in yet. And I just couldn't be bothered. I was just like, and the skein of DMC 310 that was in this bag, it's so sad. I don't even think it's actually in here now. I think I actually used... Yeah. It had like one length worth left on it, and I finished it. And then that meant that I was going to have to get up and go get more 310, and I was just like, wanna. And then I felt really bad about it. Which then made me not want to do it even more. So I'm not ready to put this one back into the archives and replace it. I'm hoping the next time it comes up, I will be in more of a different mind space for it. And it's funny because I had a conversation with Andrew the Runner Stitcher not long after he announced that he was missing. You're not going to be able to do his marathon about not being hard. It's so much easier to give other people grace than it is to give ourselves grace. And so I'm trying to give myself the grace that it was just the wrong project for the wrong day. And that's what it was. And I will do better by it next time. And it's okay that I didn't want to get up off the couch and walk down the hall maybe 300 feet to my DMC stash. But that's what I'm telling myself. I don't know how successfully I'm believing myself, but that is what I am telling myself. All right. Then I worked on the Brooks Books Dress Up Princesses Anna, or Anna, and take your pick. This one was supposed to be 500 stitches. I came in just under it. And this is on, so Universal Monsters, I didn't tell you, is on Nessie from Under the Sea Fabrics. This one is a one-off from Fortnite Fabrics. Here's where I'm at. So the purple in the sash is finished, as is the magenta and the pink, at least in the bottom part. There's some more pink flowers up here, and there's a little more pink throughout, but for the most part, it's done. So we have finished that part, and now I have to decide, do I want to work up? Do I want to work down? Do I want to work over? But that is a problem for future Garrett to determine. Present Garrett is just happy that the purple is done. So. And then, so I did all of that and finished that both. I was actually kind of working on book club and this sort of concurrently. So the wheel was spun to start today for the next thing, which was my Emerald City Sal by Owl Forest Embroidery. So this is as far as I got today. So we're beginning the Witch of the North. I did figure out what I want to do for the little flooby-doos on this one. I'm still debating a little on the color scheme here. I'm going to kind of wait until I get a little bit more done and see if it's going to be too obvious what I've done. So I've got that one to fill in. So what I did here, so I'll give you more detail on her when she's actually fully stitched. But as you can see here, I'm not doing the archway at all in the called for colors. I'm using uncalled for colors. And I went back and forth because the color palette to this series is very different in a lot of ways. So here's a screenshot from the episode where she meets the Witch of the North and the Munchkins, which is actually the first episode, and then it carries over into the second. But since I've got the yellow sky, I really wanted to sort of incorporate some of the more unusual color palettes. So I did add in this little flower thing, and you'll see why next time. But I decided to pull the colors of the archway from the background tree here. So sort of pink flowers and this sort of blue purple color for the leaves and such. And then the little archway over her, she appears in a sort of orangey smoke. Not in the same way that, like, the Witch of the West appears, and, like, there's no fire, there's no explosion, it's just sort of a poof, and there she is. I used some orange cryonic to sort of delineate that was her appearing. So I've got her hat, part of her collar, and her hands and face and hair done. So she does wear glasses in this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull that off in a small amount of space as it is. Little hesitant to try because I really don't want to have to redo that skin again. But we'll continue working on that one until we've got her, and then we've got Scarecrow. I've still got to redesign the crow that's up here to match the crows in the series, but I've got Scarecrow ready to go. But yeah, so this is the one that Jen's Stitchy Corner is hosting. So yeah. All right. So that is everything that I worked on in terms of cross stitch over the last 2 weeks. So let me show you the felt project that I'm working on. I'll show you my update on it. I'm going to show you a little bit of haul. I'm going to show you the WIPGO goals, and then we'll go into that felt parade. All right, so I am almost done with the front panel of the Trick or Treat bag. I'm not going to hold it by its handle because, there's another layer of felt that's going to go over it, as well as some stuff behind it to help strengthen it, and I don't want to accidentally stretch it out. So here's where I am. I'm basically sewing this part together now. So the first part is the front is basically done. So we've got this cute little kitty. I did ultimately end up using the purple sequins from the kit for her. I'm going to use different purple ones in the border, but I just could not find a purple that worked. The stars are holographic. You can sort of see that there. I went with gold on the moon here to separate it from the actual moon itself. I got these cute little candy cane beads because I may have mentioned this, I may not have. I'm gonna actually have this sitting on my desk at work during October with candy in it for my coworkers. And so I thought it would be really weird to have like Garrett's treats here, because they're not my treats, they're my treats for my coworkers. And since it is pre-printed, I couldn't like shift treats up to just center it on the moon. And so one of my friends suggested maybe do some buttons. And so I found some really cute candy cane buttons. And then we've got 2 spooters. I really love these spooters. So their eyes are a white sequin with a black bead, which gives them that googly effect. And then I used fuzzy stuff for the legs. Now this spider is actually 6 legs. But that's okay, because he hangs out on the hat up here, so he doesn't need all of his legs. And then I used some silk lame braid. No, actually I used Krynic for the detailing on the pumpkin. We've got a frog down here. So really enjoying this one. This one's been a lot of fun. All right, so that's what I worked on felt-wise over the last 2 weeks. All right, now we'll show you the haul. So the first bit of haul I'm going to show you is from Stitchman Darcy. You know him, we love him. And he's now trying to make being the Stitchman like his main primary business. And so since he's getting into fabric dyeing, I of course wanted to buy some fabric from him. Because I'm really terrible when I buy like PDF patterns. I don't show you all that. It's not a thing. I'll show you a physical pattern until the cows come home, but I won't show a PDF pattern, so it is what it is there. So I got 3 pieces of fabric from him. I got a piece of 32 count even weave that is just under 14 by 20. It's 13.5 by 19.5. Called Beiged and Confused. It's a really lovely neutral. So very excited for it. It's got a nice, like this one looks really, I love its like subtle modeling. Like it looks very much like a book page. So I don't know what I'm gonna do on it yet. I will definitely be finding something special for it. And then I also got and I love his names. I also got, I won't take it out of the bag because it's crinkly and loud. This 16 count, 14 by 17 piece called The Land Before Wine, which is a nice red with some purple running through it. It's similar to the color I'm going to be using for Belle. If this were even weave, I would use it for Belle. But I've got a couple of ideas for projects for it already. And then he sent me an oops that he had of Eggplant Purple, which is on an 18 count Aida, 14 by 19. But he wrote in here, there's nothing wrong with this, it's just a bit lighter than the others. But it's a really pretty purple. Like it's kind of in like the 550 range of purples. Or maybe like the 3830 range of purples, like kind of in that grouping. It's really pretty. And I do have a project in mind for it. So very excited to stitch these, stitch on these. For those of you who are not going to have to deal with the whole trying to get things from outside the country, because he is in good old Canada. Definitely strongly encourage you to order it from him. I know he's trying, like everybody else, to figure out what's going on with the tariffs. So hopefully he'll be able to ship to the US still, because I would really love to see his business take off. Yeah. All right. So the other bit of haul was a felt kit haul. And that was and this is, I want to say 78 is when this set is from. But it is the Pinocchio ornaments from Busilla. So you get Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket, and Geppetto. So I snagged these for a really good price. From what I can tell, it looks like the metallic thread is in it still, and it's going to be of questionable use anyways. But yeah, very excited to have this one. So now, and I'm going to put out this alert in case any of y'all find these like in thrift stores or locally, specifically the 70s style, and you'll know because you're going to look at it and it's going to scream 70s. There is a Cinderella. There is a Nutcracker Suite. And I believe that is it in terms of the ones I need from the sort of literary fairy tale collection. Are those two. So if you're out and about and you come across them and they are less than $30, let me know, because I am willing to pay. Not going over 30 for them, but I'm willing to pay that. So, if by any chance, I'd appreciate it. All right, so that's the haul for this week. Let's talk WIPGO. Now, of course, WIPGO is the train of thought just flew out of my brain. WIPGO is the yearly challenge that Jessie Marie hosts or created, where you set it up like a bingo board, and you assign projects or what have you to squares, and then every month she calls 2 squares, and so those are the 2 to complete in that month. Some people, when they get if they get a full blackout, treat themselves to something really fancy. Some people will set like goals like, oh, well, if I get this one down, then I'll do this. If I do this one, I'll do this. If I do a diagonal, I don't. I really just enjoy checking boxes, really. Take from that what you will. Peel that onion as much as you want. So mine, because I'm also really, really, really good at looking at things and going, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm going to put that off. So what I do instead is I assign friends to squares. And those friends get to pick a project from my active rotation. And they tell me what I'm stitching. And I put 750, approximately, stitches into it. The reason being is if I do it that way, I am less likely to disappoint my friends, because I can disappoint myself until the cows come home, and I'm not going to care. But my friends, I will not disappoint, because I don't like to let people down. So, all right, we've got a needle and the back of a minder. I have no idea which project it came from. So this month, it was my friend Matt, NBC Stitcher, and Andrew, the running stitcher, who get to pick. And whether they particularly wanted to or not is kind of anybody's guess. But they still picked, and I'm grateful to them for doing so. Was it this one? No. Which project did you come off of? Maybe you came off of... So they have picked. So I'll show you those here in just a second after I finish looking for which project this is supposed to go to. Okay, I guess it's Universal Monsters. the Jessie Marie is also launching one, and she did it last year for the Great British Bake Off. She's running a okay, so it's not on any of the projects I've shown you, so we're just gonna put this over here, and we'll figure that out some other time. She's also running, so I think there's gonna be one she's running this year. I may look into doing that. She does one for football. I'm not a football person. Becca is stitching, and I were the same on this one. Not a football person. I do not understand why those people are paid so much money to spend 5 seconds playing a game and then taking 10 to 15 minutes between movements every single time. Like, I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. I also don't understand why people really love the Cowboys, because they can't be America's, well, I guess it's, given the state of America now, it fits that they're America's team when they haven't gone to a Super Bowl since the 90s, which I remember. Whereas the Steelers are a statistically better team across the board. Go Steelers. Anyhow, that was a tangent. Yeah, so I'm going to look into maybe doing that. So that may be something I'll get to show y'all next time, because the next season of Great British Baking Show starts back soon. But for my WIPGOs, Andrew picked Flossy Fox Shops, Farming Magic Sal, which the last time I pulled it out, I wasn't super motivated on it for, so this will be good for me. So here's where we are on it. This is on a Fortnite fabric. It was part of the fabric of the month that they did when they did the opalescent theme that all had money-related themes and pun names. And I lost my card, so I have no clue what color this one actually is. Not that matters, you can't get any more of it anyways. But here you go. So this is where I'm at on it. So that'll be one of my goals. And then Matt picked Night Walked Down, which is a very popular one for WIPGO, it seems. And that's the one by the Blue Flower. So here's where I last left off on it. I think my plan is going to be to continue down with the cat and the rest of the dress, so that I'm not really splitting page as much. And then I'm going to start building out around. I have not decided if I'm going to do that border or not. That is a beast of a border. So I feel like it's likely that I will not do that border. But we'll see. We'll see. Right. And in case anyone is curious, because I don't stitch with Weeks Dye Works, I did convert Sand over to Classic Colorworks Sunkissed, Chris's Bonbon to Classic Colorworks Red Current, and Bee's Knees to Classic Colorworks Queen Bee. And this one's on Demeter's Harvest by Die Stitch Love. Great. So, we are at 30 minutes. That concludes the majority of the regular floss tube. So I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to ask questions. You can always get a hold of me either through Instagram at CoffeeStitcher or by email, coffeestitcher@gmail.com. Very easy to reach me either at both. If you do have ideas of things you'd like to see, Seashore Stitcher suggested maybe doing a parade of my Oz charts and my Oz finishes, which I can always do. Someone did suggest maybe how I go about doing a conversion, which I think may be, and it's interesting. I want to see if I can figure out a way to do it, but I have a feeling it could end up being very stream of conscious, and I don't know if that's something everybody would enjoy or not. So that might be like more of a floss tube extra, like my felt kit project was. Yeah. So, for those of you who are not interested in the Felt Kit Parade, I hope you have a great 2 weeks, and I'll see y'all next time. For those who are interested, let's get into it. So, this one is, has two, I'm going to just move this box over here to make it easier for me. This one has, is my last two categories, which is general Christmas, like didn't really have a theme, but is beyond Christmas, and snowmen. All right, so we're just gonna go, I think the generic Christmas is the one that's up front. So we've got, oh, this is a kit from the 80s. And these were kind of cool because they actually designed the packaging to stay useful through the entire project and be like a grab and go sort of thing. But it is a Christmas carols choir. There, I got it in a lot. I think it was actually the reason I got the lot. But this one's all, like, all the felt is hair. There's barely any sequins, so it's not a super involved one. Right. Then I've got Merry Miniatures, which is a set of 12 ornaments, a tree topper, and a tree skirt. So designed for a teeny tiny tree. But it does have sequins, so it's a fairly blingy kit. Of very, very tiny. I like saying very, very tiny, apparently. All right. This is a stocking called Classic Christmas. Classic Christmas. This one's kind of a unique one. I did get this for being a plaid ambassador. This is one of the welcome gifts they sent. There's a set of ornaments that I think is coming up shortly that coordinates to it that I got as well. This one is mostly satin stitch and sequins. Like, there's no actual applique to this one, which is rather interesting. All in reds. Then we've got this one, which is from the 70s as well. This one's also called Carolers. This one's a little more of a traditional sort of caroler one with nice yarn hair and a little boy with a slingshot and a black eye. That's rather grotesque, but, you know, it is what it is. Apparently that was a thing. When I got this kit, I asked about it, and, like, that was a whole, like, Norman Rockwell thing that got very re-popular there in the late 70s. So, you know, it's the 70s. And boy, do I wish I had been there. Boy, do I wish I bought real estate in the 70s. Forgive me for not being alive yet. Then I've got this little kit here. It's a, this one's from Titan, and it is a little tiny puppy dog. Very quick, easy one that I'd probably whip out here in an afternoon. This is one that I got from a friend. So it's kind of becoming a little bit of a thing in the Busilla groups, where, because a lot of the times the kits come with multiples of the same ornament, and not everyone wants to stitch multiples of the same ornament. So they'll, like, we'll split kits up and trade back and forth. Oh, pardon my sneeze. And so this one is a light plate cover called Mr. and Mrs. Snowman, and I want to say this is like a 1960s kit. Oh, no, this is 74. But I really love, so it's this one is the one I've got. So it's, you get a Mr. and Mrs. Snowman, and she's got this lovely, lovely, like, bright turquoise yarn. And they both have these lovely Carol Channing eyelashes. It's a big thing in these 70s ones, the early 70s ones, is to give snowmen and Santa Claus Carol Channing eyelashes, and I love it. All right, then I've got this stocking, which is teddy bears trimming a tree. And then, yes, the classic Christmas ornament set. Again, there's no real applique. It's just, you can kind of see it through the back here. It's just embroidery. This actually would be a pretty decent intro kit for people who are maybe curious but didn't really want to get into a super involved kit. Then we've got this one, which is a Sultana kit, which is the same thing as Busilla. It's just they license things out. Jeweled ornaments. Toyland stockings. It's a set of 3. And we're almost to the end of the general Christmas. Christmas puppy bears. The little doghouse that reminds me of Snoopy. And this kind of coordinates. They've got Easter dogs. They've got a Halloween dog set, which I've already done, and I would have to dig out to find to show y'all, but I can also do that if you're curious. Barnyard Christmas, which I think there is a coordinating stocking, and it's like Santa with a tractor, which I don't really care for, but I do love me some pigs and chickens and cows and sheep and all that sort of stuff. All right. Now we've got the snowman. What's a snowman? Nothing. What's new with you? Muppet Family Christmas. Best Christmas special ever. If you have not seen it, go watch it this Christmas. Actually, no. Christmas Eve on Sesame Street is the best. Muppet Family Christmas is a very close second. It's all of them. It's the Muppets, it's the Sesame Street Gang, it's the Fraggles, all in one great big special. There's a whole scene where the Swedish chef gets convinced that he needs to cook Big Bird as the Christmas turkey, and the Sesame Street Gang tells the night before Christmas with the 2-headed monster as Santa. It's brilliant. Oh, and the Muppet Babies are actually there too, but you have to find it on YouTube because it's the unedited version because of music rights. Hello, Tangents. You can tell I'm still adjusting to the new meds, I'm sure. All right. This one, which I really like because it's kind of Mary Englebrightish, is called Foxy Snowman. It's a snowman. He's got some patchworks, and he's got a cardinal. Actually, he's got 3 cardinals, which I know, Pam, y'all don't get cardinals in England, or in Scotland, and that's sad because cardinals are pretty. This one is a 16-inch stocking, so most of them are 18 inches. Sometimes you find some that are 21, and sometimes you get some like this, which are 16. But this one's called Snowy Friends. And it's just a nice little snowman with some woodland creatures and a random polar bear. You know, because there's polar bears in evergreen forests, right? It's Christmas, it's magic. This one is called Snowflake Snowman, which is a whole lot of blue and whites, but very pretty with a little bit of purple accenting. Then we've got... We're almost there. We've got 3 more left. This one is called Snowy Snuggles, and it's a snowman with some penguins. Or penguins, as I believe Benedict Cumberbatch likes to say. There's this one. Now, this one's interesting. It is a Better Homes and Gardens kit, I think, from the 70s. I haven't opened it yet. Obviously, but based on the materials that come in it and the way it's printed makes me believe that it is the 70s. But it has a black and white cover, so I really don't know what all the colors are in this, but it's a snowman on a sled. Or are those skis? Those are skis. It's a skiing snowman for Pat. And there's the colors. I assume the snowman is going to be white. I'm guessing the background is this blue one, but anything else is kind of your guess. And then finally, we have Candy Snowman, which is a snowman with candy. Gasp of shock and surprise by that name. But very pretty. I really like the ones that include like these big snowflake sequins. I think those are fun. Yeah. So, that is the Felt Kit Parade, part the 3rd, and the final part. Curtain can go down on the felt kits. Anyhow, again, thank you for those who were interested in them and wanted to stick around through all of it. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I know I did. I appreciate y'all for sticking. If you stuck in for this entire video, as tangenty as I was, I God bless you. But thank you for that. And of course, any comments, please feel free to leave them. Anything you might like to see me do to help make for longer videos, because I do kind of like when they're in the 30 to 45 minute range, please do, because I would be very happy to accommodate if I can. And I will see y'all in September. Bye. I really hate this. Remote will start it, but it won't stop it.